Niall, welcome back to Toronto. I know you've been here before a number of times and played golf here. I know about that. But we want to talk a little music to start off with your new album coming out the show. What's the period time between the time you finish recording the album and when it gets out? What goes on in that period? Are you nervous? Are you anxious? What is it?
It's me handing it to the record label first of all. They kind of leave me to my own devices for while I make the record, and then it's handing it in, coming up with all of the creative stuff, the music video ideas, the pictures, and all that kind of stuff. And then I wait nervously before the release, especially having been away for a few years and not released anything. I'm a bit tetchy this time. I hope. Keep your fingers crossed for me. I hope the people like it as much as I do. And then just the promotion run I'm on at the moment. I was in Italy. I'm here in Canada. Over to Los Angeles in a bit. So I'm doing the rounds at the moment. But yeah, the overriding feeling is nerves.
There's a lot of personal touches in the songs, in the lyrics out there. How tough is it for you to sort of put yourself out there, make yourself vulnerable to all this?
Yeah, I think when I was younger, I was probably a bit more closed off. And then the older I've gotten, the less I've cared. You know what I mean by that, in terms of like just giving myself across and not being afraid about what people think or say or whatever. I think it makes for better music as well, the more you can give to the game, I guess. And I think I've gotten better at it as I've grown up.
Reception to the first two releases that have been out there with Heaven, and I mean, does it give you some reassurance that everyone's going to love this?
It definitely, the reaction has been really great, you know, to Heaven and now this new one, Meltdown. When you, as I said, when you spend that much time away and then come back, you don't know whether, you know, I know for a fact there's a fan base out there of some sort, but you still have to get the music right. You don't want to be releasing stuff that people are like, oh, what's he doing here? So yeah, I think that it's definitely eased some of that nerves with how things have been received.
First line in the chorus in Heaven is, God only knows where this could go. And I say that to myself when I stand on the first tee a lot of times. I have no clue where the ball's going to go.
By the way, I think we all have that. We all have that issue.
That's my transition to just talking a little bit about golf. And you are an avid golfer. You're a crazy golfer from what I understand.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've gone as far as to start a golf company, which we'll get into. But is golf a way for you to kind of get away? You look at a lot of musical artists, and I'll date myself, but I played golf once with Alice Cooper, who said playing golf kind of saved his life from being on tour. He would have the whole day free, and he would do things he shouldn't do. But and Alex Lifeson, a guitarist for Rush. I mean, there's a lot of people who play golf in the music industry as a way to get away. Is that what you do?
Yeah, I think, well, the love for golf probably just came from being Irish. I mean, just growing up in the island, it's like, it's one of the first things you do. It's like playing hockey here, you know. It's similar type of thing. It's a very accessible sport in Ireland. And then the older I've gotten, the more of an escape it has been. You know, there was periods, you know, when I first started my career where I couldn't really get out of the hotel, and it was very hectic outside and things like that. So it was a way of like really getting away from the hotel, getting away from the day job, and getting out behind the gates of a golf course and just enjoying it for what it was. I've definitely gotten better over the years, which is a good thing. I haven't gone down, gotten worse. So yeah, I do find it as like this is not even a joke. I'm looking at my tour for my upcoming tour, I'm planning it now with venues and stuff, and I'm actually planning it around golf courses I can play.
Brilliant.
Golf courses I can play where I can have my days off, you know, things like that. I don't want to be stuck somewhere where I can't play golf. So yeah, I basically do structure my life around it.
You have a company, Modest Golf, and this is something you founded. I really must tell you, I didn't know a lot about it, but boy, that's a huge company. You're managing players, you're creating events. You've got Terrell Hatton as one of your guys out there. What was the impetus to start that?
I think it was knowing a lot of people in golf, having a lot of golfer friends, spending a lot of time walking up and down the range, realizing that there's a lot of young kids out there that are turning pro or have just turned pro and don't have a lot of access to corporate sponsors, to invites to tournaments, don't really know where they're playing week to week. And as a passionate golf nut, I thought that this would be a really cool way to have a side hustle that I really enjoy. And then it's just gone off leaps and bounds. We signed, Guido Migliozzi was our first player. He's like he was at the time, he was the #1 Italian amateur and was winning, and then he's won a few times in the European Tour, and we kind of accumulated players as we've gone along, fighting hard to get them on your agency. It's competitive out there. And then Tyrrell came along as well, and Tyrrell's been a massive name for the company. Obviously, top 20 golfer is nice to have, and is in fine form right now.
I know one of your pals is Rory. I think, in fact, Rory flew here one time. You guys played up at the National, if I'm not mistaken, in Toronto.
Yeah.
So what's the game when you play with him? How many strokes does he give you? And have you ever gotten into his pocket?
Do you know what? Last time I played rounds of golf with Rory, I was horrific. So he probably gave me 1,000 shots. I still wouldn't have beat him. I think I'd have a better chance now. I'm like a solid 8 handicapper. If he gave me some shots, I'd give it a go, but I'd have to catch him on a really bad day, wouldn't I? He'd want to be swinging hockey sticks, not golf clubs, for me to beat him. We played some golf here in Toronto before. Actually, he came up to a gig here, and we went out and played some golf. And I've got a really good memory. Actually, I remember all these guys were out in the balcony of the golf club looking over the 18th, and he was about 100 yards out on the 18th fairway, and he just said, "Watch this," just to see if he could get a rise out of the crowd, and he hit this wedge and it spun about 2 feet past the hole and back in.
Right in.
all these guys are out on a Tuesday, for their round of golf, and they see Rory McIlroy dunk one in on their local course. I thought that was pretty sweet.
That's pretty nice. You caddied for him at the par 3 contest at the Masters.
Yeah, years ago. He just asked me.
Right,
he knew I was going to the Masters, and he asked what I just caddy for him. I was like, this is crazy. Yeah, it was just like to be at Augusta for the first time and caddying for, I think Rory was #1 at the time, maybe. So like that was just, it was insane. What incredible experience as a golf fan to go to Augusta and to do that with him. It was just incredible. Won't forget that.
The jumpsuits are hot though. I've had those on. God. Aren't they crazy?
It's nuts.
It's like a sauna bath in there. I'll wrap up. I know you're an ambassador for the R&A, and Golf Canada is the composite for them.
Yeah.
They know that you're trying to get more people to play golf, especially young women to get play in the golf. Would you give a message to Canadian golfers, just telling them to go out and get there and go and play golf?
Just pick up golf clubs wherever you can get them. Get out there and play with friends, play with whoever makes you feel comfortable. Get out there and hit some balls, because I'm telling you, it's addictive. I hit my first ball in the 90s and never stopped. So go and play. It's the best game in the world.